The journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that. Over. Be implanted in a person's body to track his every stop now, Judge, and we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that. And Judge, I need to know whether you will be a justice who believes it doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get it done. Why is it so challenging? It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get it done. Why is it so challenging? It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get it done. Why is it so challenging to your party, Mr. President? Why has it been so challenging to unite the party?
All right, Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Brakathum. To the hopefully elect, man. And Salaki, as I look for this photo, which is going to tie into this lesson, because man, beware of the beast man. All right. It's looking a hell of a like this guy Biden. He could very well be the one to usher in the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. He could very well be the guy to do it. All right. Salaki, just bear with me real quick. I just had it pulled up. Just had this photo pulled up, man. But let me go ahead and get this precept. Well, this is a good one. I pulled this one up real quick. But I'm going to go ahead and get this precept in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And because I pretty much a few days ago had already went into how I did a video basically going into how, or just, I think it was just yesterday, I uploaded a video going into how basically the man of sin is being revealed. All right. And more, the devil's showing his horns, man, because out of all the numbers that he could have used, all right, he said, what did he say? 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 years. They're going to get it done, which, is going to boil down to the implementation of the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. And, I got to keep it PG because, our YouTube can get, all right, but the major prophecy in Revelation 13, 16, and 17, the Charagma, all right, which is one of the major prophecies that we ought to be on the lookout for, because, once that is fully mandated and full effect, you can expect Yahweh Shai to crack forth, which Yahweh Shai is the the true name of who the world calls Jesus. All right, it's not Jesus. All right. But once the implementation of that charagma, all right, is fully mandated, you can expect the Yahushua to crack forth through those clouds, man, at any moment. All right, things are already speeding up, but once that comes around, things are really going to speed up. All right, because it's going to be all hell and all tribulation throughout the earth on all sides, especially here in America, Babylon the Great, which real quick before I get this, I'm gonna go to Revelation. All right, because through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, start with the apostles and the elders, we've been given these mysteries, all right, such as Babylon the Great. You still got a lot of people that questioning when it talks about Babylon in the Bible, what it's talking about. It's still a mystery to a lot of people, and you even got some people that go as far as to think that Babylon is modern day Iraq, because that's pretty much the area dealing with ancient Babylon, right? But when you read the prophecy of Babylon the Great, it talks about how Babylon the Great is going to be completely destroyed and never inhabited again. And you see, modern day Babylon over there in the land of Iraq is still being inhabited by people. All right. You see, so that's how we know it's not talking about Iraq, because again, Iraq is still being inhabited by people. And according to the prophecy, Babylon the Great, once this destruction comes, it's never going to be inhabited again. All right. But again, that's a mystery to a lot of people. But you see, we're in the time now where Yahweh Shema Shai, like I said, start with our apostles and elders. These things have been revealed unto us. But I'm going to read this here in Revelation chapter 17. I'm going to read verse 5. It says, and upon, matter of fact, I'll read verse 3. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and basically going into the EU and the NATO, which is the beast that you read about in Revelation 13, the 13th chapter. All right, which is a regurgitation of the ancient Roman Empire, which was ruled by Edomites. All right, because this whole thing with this whole concept of the NWO, all right, I'll put it like this, because the Build Back Better, all right, which is basically the PG way, or the nice way of saying, the NWO, all right, that really started with the Greeks, the Greco-Romans, which again, all Edomites, all right. But once Rome fell, all right, again, you can read about this in Revelation 13. Once Rome fell, that was the beast being wounded. But again, when you read in that chapter, Revelation 13, it talks about how matter of fact, I'll get it real quick in Revelation 13. And Revelation 13, I'll start at verse 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And again, we're in the time now where, hey, this dragon, he's speaking more and more. And you see, because, you got to pay attention to what a lot of what these people say, man, because, they say certain things, and if you're not really in tune with the spirit, it'll go right over your head, right? Because, hey, man, they do speak in a lot of code, right? But verse 12, and this beast is talking about here in Revelation 13:11, is talking about America, all right, that little horn, that I believe that you read about in I believe that's in the book of Daniel. Um, verse 12, it says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Again, all right, I'm gonna read that again. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. Because you see a lot of Babylon, all right, America, a lot of pretty much everything that they structure themselves is patented after the Roman Empire. You see, that's, you know, with the their whole, you know, I mean, with the Senate, you know, a lot of the symbolism, almost everything that America, you know, is structured after, is structured after the Roman Empire, right? Because again, this is that wound that was healed. Because again, when the Rome fell, America, or excuse me, the beast, was brought back to life, so to say. Like I said, you can read about this in the Treaty of Rome. All right, which I'm not even going to put a date out there because I'm not exactly sure when or what year you know, they established this Treaty of Rome. But basically, again, going back to the EU and NATO. All right, that was the Roman Empire, you know, the ancient Roman Empire, basically being reestablished again. All right, and America being the spearhead, so to say. All right, because like I said, everything pretty much that America is structured after ancient Rome. So again, verse 12, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. All right. So again, you know, that ancient Roman Empire structure. All right. Again, we're pretty much living in it again, right? But going back to Revelation 17, in verse 3 again, it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Again, the 7 heads and 10 horns going into the NATO and the EU. All right, and this woman sitting upon a scarlet colored beast. All right, because again, America was the spearhead for you know, the beast to, you know, basically deceive the world into bowing down to this beast system. All right. So when you read verse 4, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations of filthiness for fornication. So again, because America, this whore, all right, was used to spread the you know, this poison into all these other nations. Like I said, basically to deceive the world into getting down with the beast system. All right, America was the spearhead for that. So when you read verse 5, it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right. So going back to the point being that, again, because a lot of people, it's still a mystery to a lot of people dealing with this mystery of who Babylon is, or what Babylon is, you know, who you know, this harlot that is talking about, which it's clear that it's America. All right, America is Babylon the Great. You see, you even got some Christian pastors that you know, they know and understand this. You know, these what do you call them? These scholars. They even, some of them would even agree that this is talking about America. All right, you know, but dealing with this mystery, because again, going back to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, I'm going to start at verse I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholding, that he might be revealed in his time. And you see again, we're in the time where these things are being revealed. All right. Because you see, Yahweh Shemel Shai is putting the spirit on, these people like Joe Biden to say certain things, such as 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 years, or whatever he said, which again, probably went over a lot of people's head. But when you're in tune with the spirit, hey, this is that man of sin being revealed that you read in the same chapter. You just read a couple of verses up. All right. Verse 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Because again, dealing with this man of sin, the son of perdition. All right. Like I said, it started with the Greeks. All right. Then the Romans came. Right. Because like I said, this whole thing with the Build Back Better. All right. Because matter of fact, I'm gonna go back to Revelation 13, and like I said, you can read about this. It goes more in depth in the book of Daniel, where it talks about the goat, which going into Alexander the Greek. All right. Because again, this really started with the Greeks, the Greco-Roman, right, which again was all Edomites. I'm gonna go back to this in Revelation 13. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. All right. So the point being, where it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. All right. Again, when you go back, when you get deep into it, that leopard is talking about the Greeks, because that's when this beast structure started. All right. Started with the Greeks. All right. Alexander the Greek, the Greek, he was known for wearing leopard skin. You can look into that history. So again, it started with the Greeks, and then when the Romans came into power, pretty much the show went on, right? And that's why, going back to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. So you see, during this time of the Romans, you see, because again, dealing with a lot of these mysteries, who the son of perdition is, that man of sin, right? They were already, pretty much doing their thing during the Roman Empire, during the Roman time. But you see, that wasn't the time, because even during the Roman Empire, it was a vast empire, but they didn't conquer the world. You see, now the ancient Roman Empire, they have pretty much the earth, so to say, but you see, back then during this time, all right, they didn't have the earth, which again, they were all Edomites. But you see, the modern day Roman Empire, you see, now they have, now they're in control of, because like it tells in Job 9:24, man, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is their time to, do all these things, establish this beast, and, implement the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. You see, back during this time that I'm reading here, that wasn't the time for it. So that's why they fell. All right. But nevertheless, they came back. But verse 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So again, this is the season now where Yahweh Shemel Shah has given basically the complete authority of the earth over to the hand of Esau, so that these things could be fulfilled. You see, because like, when you read, during the time of Yahushua and the disciples, because, back then, over 2,000 years ago, you had the I believe it was Peter, when you read in Acts 1:6, asking Yahushua, is this going to be the time where, the kingdom is going to be established? But you see, again, a lot of things had to play out before the kingdom gets established, right? So again, that wasn't the time. That wasn't the time for what's going on now. Back then, it wasn't the time for it. So all these things had to play out, which again, we're in that season of, these things are playing out. And again, the signs, one of the major prophecies being that implementation of the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. We're in that time, you see. But when you read verse 8, it says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And you see, this is why, going back to Joe Biden, he talked about, he said, hey, man, our patience is running thin. These devils know that they have but a short time. So this is why, hey, because when you read here, again, it says, and the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. All right. And how is the wicked being revealed? How are these mysteries being, brought to the light? The spirit of the Lord's mouth, talking about the prophets. Because again, starting with our apostles and elders, all right, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai dealing with the apostles and elders, all right. Hey, these things have been revealed, man. You see, and this is why I wanted to bring this up real quick, dealing with an elder had pretty much broke it down, dealing with this here, like you see in the name itself, Biden, when you go into this E, all right, because again, dealing with the what do you call it, when you read in Revelation 13, I believe it's the 18th verse, it talks about the basically the 666. All right, let me go there real quick, which again, it's no coincidence, 6 what do you say, man, 6 weeks, 6 days, or 6 years, they're going to get it done, right? Let me read this in Revelation 13. It says, Revelation 13 and 18, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, again, when you go into it, the Chai, Zai, and stigma, all right, when you break it down, or like the elder broke it down, dealing with this E, all right, one of the, it resembles a lot of the Zai, because again, you got the Chai, you got the Zai, and the stigma, all right, which this, because you see, when it comes to these devils, man, nothing is a coincidence. All right. They're very calculated in the things that they say, the things that they put out there, which, ultimately it's all witchcraft. But again, to the average person, these, they overlook these things. They think nothing of it. But when you go into this, how they set this letter up, the E in Biden, all right, it resembles a lot of the Zai from the Chai Zai stigma. It resembles a lot of the Zai character, all right, which just a real quick, because when you go through it, the Chai going into basically the Xing out of the Messiah, all right, and then the Zai going into basically the ushering in of basically their system, you see, because they're trying to do away, because again, when you read in 2 Thessalonians, like I said, the same chapter, the second chapter, goes into basically how this man of sin, how he exalts himself as the Most High, because again, their whole thing is Xing out Yahweh Shem Shai, because they exalt themselves as the Most High. They want to be the Most High. So with that being said, they X out all the natural ordinances of Yahweh Shem Shai, which that's what the Chai goes into. All right. And then they want to usher in their way of doing things, going into basically the Zai, right? Which also resembles, when you go into it, the Zai, it symbolizes a lot the when you go into the staff of Asclepius, which goes back to the Greek god of medicine. You see, because again, this whole thing started with the Greeks. You know, a lot of things that America symbolizes, it goes back to the Greco-Roman Empire. You see, so again, when you go into the Zai character, it resembles a lot of the the Greek god, the god of medicine, all right, the Greek god Asclepius. You could look into that. All right, the staff and the serpent, which is represented on a lot of the the what do you call it, the like the Red Cross, and you see the symbol, the ambulances and stuff like that, which basically, again, ushering in their way of doing things, to X out the Messiah, to X out Yahweh Shema Shai's ordinances, usher in their way of doing things, right? And then you got the stigma, which is the actual implementation of the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. But dealing with this Zai real quick again, because that's what a lot of this it kind of resembles that a lot. One thing, because again, going back to this Greek god of medicine, you see, and this is how we know, dealing with the Vanessa. Again, I got to keep the PG for YouTube, because now they're banning accounts that speak out against it. So got to be real careful. But dealing with the Vanessa, all right, this is how we kind of know that this is going to tie in to the Revelation 13, 16, and 17, because you can speak on the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. We speak, a lot of times we speak on that, and they'll we'll speak on Revelation 13, 16, and 17, the charagma, and we don't give out any medical advice. We won't say anything about the Vanessa. All right, you just speak strictly on the Revelation 13, 16, and 17, the charagma, and they'll strike the video down for medical misinformation. And you see, this is an inkling. This is how we kind of know that this whole thing with the Vanessa, because brothers have been saying it, man. This is what you see going on now with the mandates, restrictions, and things of that nature. This is all going to lead way to the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. So this is how we know it's going to tie in. And in some way, shape, form, or fashion, they're gonna usher the charagma in by way of the medical system. So you see how it all ties in, man. You see, and this is why, this is a part of what I read here in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. It says, "And then shall the wicked be revealed." How have we been given the ability to basically, expose these people, expose this devil? When you read on, it says, "Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." And again, the spirit of the Lord's mouth, talking about his prophets. All right, because again, Yahweh Shema Shai, like I said, starting with the apostles and elders, man. We've been given this, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, that's why when you go back to Revelation 13 real quick, that's why when you go back to Revelation 13 and 18, it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast." So you see, here is wisdom. All right, you see, again, we've been given the insight on these things, and this is how we've been able to break these things down, man, and reveal these mysteries, man. And this is why these guys, they're getting impatient, man. The devil, this is why he's getting ready to come down with that great wrath, Revelation 12 and 12, because he's been revealed. Everything, everything about him and his plans, his agendas, is being exposed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see? So going back to 2 Thessalonians 2, and the latter of 8, it says, "And shall destroy with the brightness of his comings." And you see, eventually, the brightness of his coming, talking about the second coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, because Yahweh Shema Shai, like lately I've been saying it, I've been making this statement, man. Yahweh Shema Shai, man, it's easy for the Lord to kill you, but it's another thing for the Lord to actually, expose you, man, and just reveal your skirt. you know, make you bare, make you naked, show your shame. And that's what the Lord is doing with this man of sin. All right. The wicked being revealed. That's what the Lord is doing. All right. He's revealing him. He's exposing him. All right. And then he's going to take him out. He's going to, because the Lord's going to come. When the Lord makes his second coming, he's going to knock out he's going to deliver the fatal blow. All right. But verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So you see, this beast system, like I said, man, it's tricked the world, it's deceived the world, all right, into, or is going to trick the world, deceive the world into, you know, bowing down to the beast. And you see, dealing with, you know, their enchantments. Because, hey, that shit is wearing off. You know, when you go to Isaiah chapter 25, talks about that covering cast, right? Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 7, it says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people in the veil that is spread over all nations. So you see, Esau, his spells aren't as effective. All right, his spells aren't working anymore. They're wearing off. You see. You see, man, you know, because, hey, now more than ever, man, hey, they're doing all type of rituals, man. They're casting all type of spells, man. You see, because, hey, they got to ramp up, man. They you know, they got to get this plan in motion, man. They got to do everything in their power to you know, get this thing, you know, put this thing in full effect. But you see, like the scriptures tell you, man, they shall fill their belly, and then the Lord shall basically rain on their parade, roughly paraphrasing it. Basically, you know, the Lord's, you know, they're not going to accomplish their NWO. They're not going to accomplish this Build Back Better. All right. The Lord's only going to allow them to get, but so far to the point where, again, the Lord's going to destroy them, man. He's going to take them out of power. All right. But verse 9 again says, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. It says, and with all deceivableness of brightness of unrighteousness, and them that perish because they received not the love of the truth, that they may be saved. So you see, you know, hey, the point being, the devil, hey, they're working their work, man. You know, and you know, it's just a matter of time. You know, again, hey, this guy, Joe Biden, he could very well be the guy to do it. That's why I played the first clip. All right. You know, because they're confident. They're very confident that they're gonna, get this thing. They're gonna accomplish this Build Back Better. They're very confident. You see the in the first clip where you say you will rule on that. Mark my words. You see how confident he was in this whole thing being established. You see, where you talked about basically tagging people with the charagma, man. You see, because that's what it's all about, man. You know, but again, that's because ultimately that's the pride. They're deceived in their pride, and I'm gonna go ahead and get that, and Lord's will end it off when you go to the book of Obadiah, because again, they're very confident that they're gonna accomplish this Build Back Better thing, man. But they're deceived by their own pride. So I'm gonna read this in the book of Obadiah. Obadiah. Just bear with me real quick. So the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, it's only one chapter. I'm going to start at verse 2. Says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart, verse 3 is the point. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So you see, again, the pride of these devils, man, and they're deceived by their own pride. They really think they're going to accomplish this thing and fight against Yahweh and the angels. You know, they really think that they're going to, go through with this, man, and win. Actually, they think they're actually going to succeed. But that's how the Lord set it up. He wants these devils to, to be, you know, this proudful, man. Because, you know, hey, that's one thing the Lord hates, a proudful look, and the only thing to come from that is your destruction, basically. You see, because again, the Yahweh Shema Shad allowed he allowed Esau to get to the point where they're at now. You know, this great kingdom. All right, you know, their technology and, you know, all these advancements and whatnot. The Lord allowed them to get to this point just so he could take them out, just so the Lord could show forth his power, because he did the same thing in ancient Egypt. All right, he allowed ancient Egypt to get built up to a point. He allowed the Pharaoh, you know, he was powerful, right? He thought nothing could touch him. The Lord allowed that to happen so that the Lord allowed them to get built up just so he could take him out, to exalt his power, to show forth his power. You see? And that's the same thing with Esau today, the modern Pharaoh today, man. All right? He allowed these devils to get so built up, you know, so puffed up, just so the Lord could show forth his power. And you see, hey, things are going to get a ramp up, man, because these things have to happen. All right? Esau, he has to, you know, do what he do, man, and you know, basically come down with that great wrath, because, hey, when the Lord does that on the left hand, he's going to exalt the right hand. You see? So, you know, like I said, man, it's just a matter of time. Hey, this dragon, man, he's speaking louder and louder, man. You know? So, yeah, man, just wanted to shed some light. You know, a few brothers have already did videos on this, you know, and I just wanted to touch on it real quick. So hopefully it was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakathum. To the hopefully elect. Lord's will. Till next time, Shalom.